Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Are for the Nerds. 32 days until the Super Bowl. Technically, we're in week 19, but it is the wild card week. A lot to talk about. Let's go. There he is. How many lives days this week, Kyle?
Just this podcast by coming on, so 3.
I take back the delicious part. All the cakes are delicious.
I've already clipped that. That's already on Twitter.
That's legitimately going to be a Twitter clip today. You know what I meant. So thank you. And some people, apparently like me, don't like almond joys. And those people are idiots.
I'm going to give you the best deal. The greatest of deals. We need the tight end. We're big on the tight ends.
You're not saying embarrassing songs. You're just saying songs that make me dry. So, right?
Let's shit on Leone. Let's shit on Leone. Everybody love shit on Leone.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.
Still the best. I love this Kyle shitting on us. That still is my favorite.
Hi.
Hi,
Sorry. I'm flabbergasted for two reasons. One, we talked for 30 minutes, you and I. We had a meeting before the show without you noticing this. And so I was going to bring up something about my attire, but then right before we go on, you ripped down into a sports bra for the show. And now there's a lot to talk about with the attire. And I don't know if you know this, but a few weeks ago, we couldn't get away with that type of attire. Now,
we could not.
now
we're back, baby. So one is it's currently, we're in a nor'easter, right? Everyone, it's very cold. It's about 4 degrees outside. And I am so dead inside that I've cranked my temperature in my house to about 73 degrees. So it's so uncomfortable. I try to bring the thermostat back down to 68. Oh, it's locked in. It is like, it's tough. I'm so dehydrated. And I'm in ketosis now. So
it makes you feel any better. Viewers are going up by the second. And I don't think it's because of my Buffalo Bandits hat that I wore for my homie. I was trying to think of a player there. That would have been funny, but I just can't. Who's that? Whose house? That guy's house. I wore a little Bandits hat trying to represent my friend, and maybe I get a ring this year. Maybe you could get me one of those rings.
Okay. Well, thank you. The Buffalo Bandits are the only current NLL team that is undefeated. They're 3-0 right now. We have a game Friday at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, and it's very exciting. But thank you for supporting.
How creepy would it be? Like, I know that we all have a decent following locally, so I'm sure a lot of people are listening to us live here, and that's cool. But how crazy if somebody like showed up Friday and was like, oh my God, Allie Brady from the podcast. I heard you were here, so I came. And you're like, oh great. Like, what area do you live in? And they're like, Colorado. they just are like, it's really that Tank's really doing it for him.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome, everyone. The Tank Top. And I'm also sorry. And also, right before we went on, I did tell the guys I'm doing dry January, like many people. I've been a lifelong vegetarian. I'm not eating carbs, so there's very few things I'm enjoying in life, and I work out. So I look a little too like Madonna arm growth, like not in a cute way, but in like a. So I was like trying to do the reverse male push up when guys like pump up to get their like pecs going. I'm like, let's wiggle it out the bicep, guys. I think that's technically what I do, right? Is that I'm so sorry for wiggling out the bicep. Ew, I'm gonna just.
Can I ask though? Like, all right, vegetarian, cutting carbs. What is your day looking like right now? Like
just Philadelphia cream cheese. My statins have increased.
You and my 3-year-old would hit it off great. That's all she does. She asks for a bagel daily. We stop at Tim Hortons to get a bagel every morning because that's what she asked for. But she doesn't eat the bagel. She just licks the cream cheese off the whole way to school, and that's all it is. But so is that what you're doing? You're just eating a tub of Phillies?
Yeah. And if you want to be a sponsor, and we are really short on money, I will lick a bagel for you guys. Yeah, so it's really just not having fun. And
the off season's always so much more fun on this podcast. Fuck football, right? Yeah. I mean, me and Ryan didn't even win any money this year. Why are you even fucking listening to us for that shit? I mean, but this is genius.
This is it. Forget feet. It's all about licking cream cheese. Ew. Oh, what is that roast beef thing? I bring the class to it. I'm so sorry, everyone. Ryan, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm great. Yes, I'm great. I'm reminded of my time doing keto, which was basically just eating chicken wings for every meal. So it was a great time. It definitely works. Cheese and bacon and chicken wings. It'll get you through.
Yeah. So for me, right, it's then just cheese. I do a plant protein shake. Everyone's snoring. Did I lose the audience? I think I did.
No. I'm into this. This might turn for 50 minutes of this. I got questions. Go on.
So we were talking about because men this, and I'll talk about this on the pod. I was like, see, look at like I'm like noticing differences, and like, gentlemen, I always say this: you guys just cut beer or alcohol, and you drop 20 pounds. And I asked Ryan and Louie, and I was like, so wait. I've dropped alcohol. I don't eat sugar. I'm not eating anything fun. Is that really the secret? Do men really do like all that stuff? They increase their exercise and then they lose weight after, and they just tell women that they just cut alcohol. And you guys said,
oh no, it just happens so easy. But you got to look at the base. Look at the baseline. You're a twig over there, and what are you going to lose more than 2 pounds? I mean, I have a baby. Like I legit give birth sometimes after drinking a couple waters. Like it's just easy.
I found with the key when I was doing the keto was when you stop the sugars for like a week or 2 weeks, you don't even crave them anymore. And that was the biggest key, was like, that's where you really get in trouble, is the sugar, the inflammation. It's just so bad for you. And it's so easy for it to be in stuff if you don't actively avoid it.
I still do not crave sugar anywhere near. I stopped keto maybe 4 years ago. I did keto for like 6 months, and I still today, like, I still don't. I drink sugar-free pop when I do have to drink pop. Yeah, I know it's still the worst. No, I get it. I'm not, but like, I'm just saying, I always make. Fuck up, dude! I'm trying to tell you how healthy I am by drinking 17 Diet Cokes. Now shut up.
No, that's good. Good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry, I'm jacked up on cheese.
I only eat sugar-free cheesecake and and my chicken wings. I only have hot or mild. I don't do the barbecue. No.
Okay.
No. I got in that chicken wing thing. I'm interested. So I know you were probably saying that facetiously, but like, it's so funny. The first week or two that I was on keto, I still considered like, all right, once a week I'll do wings. That will be like my quote unquote cheat meal, but it's not even a cheat meal under keto. You're allowed to, right? And then after 2 months, it was like, all right, well, I eat chicken wings 18 times this week. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna fill in my time. So is that kind of the same pattern you went down, Brad?
No, I mean, I definitely had a lot of chicken wings, and there was a period of time afterwards though I was like, okay, I'm good on that for a while. But I was doing like a lot of like cucumber salads, or like things like with cheese in them, like put that in some dressing, and then like that was my lunch, followed by wings for dinner. Beef jerky or beef sticks for snacks, and peanuts and whatever. I mean, that kind of stuff works. So I might try to get back to that, because it really does help with energy levels and everything else. It's just, even just the cutting the sugar part and avoiding the carbs, not necessarily like cutting them out completely, but just limiting them. I think that would be a good move.
Allie,
Ryan-
one more suggestion before we move on. One more. I'm sorry. What did you say? I cut you off.
Ryan said cucumber, and I was like, "Oh, right, I'm supposed to add vegetables."
Well, that I was one more. One thing I did love in my thing, and I'm sure you're doing this now because it's one of the few things you could. But like an almond flour pizza,
Oh,
bomb. If you do it right, like that was my favorite thing to do on keto. Was like I would make like a almond flour pizza, like weekly, and just do different shit. And you can make it to where it tastes the same as regular pizza or better in certain times.
I dig it. Yeah, thank you. This is my second time doing this, so I'm just trying to restart the metabolism. But thank you, and you guys can join me if you like.
Well, this was a great podcast, huh? See you guys. Everybody have a good night.
Yeah, if you guys want to join my religion, it's called Scientology. So very excited. It was, by the way, happy belated birthday to Louie. I know you went out of town, but hope it was fun. There you go. How was that?
Well, it was great. I did a hike, which was dumb. I think I'm getting to the age where I feel like I need to do it's not about partying for sure anymore for me. So like, and I you've both been here for my spiritual growth this last couple of years. And I was like, I want to be outside, and I told our friend Kyle Turner, friend of the show, that I want to go for a hike. He took me to Ellicottville. He told me he was taking me on a 30-minute hike. An hour into that 30-minute hike, he told me we were halfway through it. And then when you're halfway through a hike, you really can't do much. Either way you go, it's going to be an hour. So he almost killed me. I told you this before the show a little bit, Ellie. Like Ryan wasn't there for that. It was a little irresponsible on his part. Like there were times where I had to call timeout. I had to just catch my breath for 15, 20 minutes. Really cold out there. No jokes aside, I know it was just a 2-hour hike that people do on a probably a regular basis or a fun Sunday. I felt very accomplished afterwards. So, I drank the rest of the day pretty hard and I made it up. Yeah. But it was fun. It was a fun birthday. Thanks to Kyle Turner and an avid listener, Jesse.
Yeah, there we go. And shout out to you guys. And to all firefighters this week. Hey, California, thinking.
Allentown.
Oh, and Allentown. Oh, we lost another bar.
Let's go. I just lost. We probably just lost 4 or 5. I was not. It's not a joke.
Just kind of. Okay, so we will talk football, everyone. But there's just a couple things that it's the beginning of the year, and it's things that are bugging me, and I kind of want to rant, and then but just for a second, and then I want you guys to jump in because. All right, here's something I've noticed. It's the new year. A lot of people are trying to give the predictions. They're trying to do like, what your sign is and what you should be feeling this year. But I noticed that a lot of like fortune tellers from like the old days that have predicted things in the future, such as like Nostradamus and stuff, they've apparently all said that 2025 was going to be terrible, awful wars and stuff. And then I realized like most of these noodles never say anything positive. It's just like, there's going to be a really bad war. And then also Prince Diana's going to die. And you're like, okay, yeah, you got one right. But like, what? Like things haven't been good since, I don't know, never. So like stop. Like when people are believing them, I'm like, get out of here. Anyway, I want like a happy, oh, things are going to be great. I'm going to find happiness. And like it's never a positive fortune teller. So any hot takes on that?
Ryan, you go. I have some thoughts.
I do. Yeah, I think it's clickbait, right? It's I think a lot of what we see right now, people have always had like kind of extreme opinions, but now it's just we have access to all of those people, right? And their opinions are going to get magnified. So like that's what's going on with these types of things. So it's always around. These people are wrong 99% of the time, but then they, like you said, they hit on the 1% of the time and they're in your face telling you that they're the smartest person ever. So yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I think you can mostly just try to tune it out because it truly doesn't like represent normal people or most people. Even I think it's just a select few.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm starting to get less pessimistic towards these people. And all I'm saying, I get what you're saying. When you're putting out in masses, whatever, I'm I'm becoming to believe that there are some people one-on-one that can fortune tell for you. I do feel like there's an energy that certain people can pick up and do and all that. I know, but these people are like, I think it's a really funny like bit and a really funny thought is like these ones that are just it's never like you said, it's never like, hey, the whole world's gonna shine in 2033. Like it's never that. It's always like, it's something, it not for nothing, we're not this type of podcast, but it's always got to be something with religion. I'm like, why did God want all these bad things to happen? And then also he hasn't been right often. I mean, I feel like we've gone through how many what is it that how many Armageddons have we lived through just in our lifetimes where people are like, oh, the world's gonna be done tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen the movie at least 3 times. So
It's a great movie.
Great movie. Shout out to the Animal Cracker. Okay, here's something else. I mistakenly apparently got my flu shot in October. And I'm now the only loser at work who hasn't had to take a week off and like have fun, hang out at home and watch TV because I'm like never sick. Again, this is very frustrating. So I guess I'm just saying was I an idiot for getting my flu shot and washing my hands normally several times a day? Because everyone at work gets sick and they're like, they get the flu, they get the stomach bug. Then they're like, again, going back to, I lost 5 pounds. I couldn't eat. I'm like, I'm eating cheese so I can look like you. Oh, it's so frustrating. Am I the idiot for getting the flu shot? Go.
No,
go conspiracy theory. Go.
Yeah, I was gonna say no, but you're a sheep. Just following all the herd. No,
here's my scar, and it's like an arm.
Funny. I mean, we all know probably where I lean on all that stuff, but like, I've never been a vaccine, and it's not like I've never gotten the flu vaccine or anything each year, and it's not anything to do with nothing but laziness. And then every year I get sick 27 times, and for me, I'm my own boss. For you, like you said, like people just get to go sit, but you don't want to sit home with some of this stuff. Like I just battled one for like 8 days. I think you're definitely not the idiot. I think you're smart. But figure out other ways to stay home from work, dude.
You didn't have to go to like 2 holiday parties though. That's kind of awesome.
It was, I made out on Christmas. I did not have to go anywhere. It was just me and my daughter. And I just like had to call everybody and cough a couple times. I mean, if you watched the podcast last week, you know I wasn't faking because it was the most embarrassing. But yeah, so you didn't want that. You don't want what I had last week. I will tell you that.
If you listened to the podcast 10 minutes ago, when you heard Louis not on mute, like do some sort of sneeze cough, you also know he wasn't. Okay, here's my last thing, and then we can talk football. Sorry, everyone. But Louis is the single guy on the podcast, and I just want to let you know, Jessica Alba is now single. She's on the market. Her and her now ex-husband, Cash Warren, have just decided to split. So Jessica Alba.
Wait a second.
Not Field.
Is he an athlete or something?
No, he has a really great name.
Oh, okay. I mean, whatever. We'll talk. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about anybody that left Jessica Alba, but no, I did not know that. I do have that's really funny that you brought it up because I was going to let it go, but then you did this randomly, so maybe it's meant to. I have a question. Okay. For you, and this this would probably be a nod podcast, friendly, but now we're here, right? Talking about the dating thing. I'm on the second. I'm on the second person to like me that has therapists in their name, not a mental. There's a lot of different types of therapy. But so these are people that like me after a long time getting to know me. And so I'm like, I have a like. Should I feel great because after people get to know me, they like me and get attracted, or two, should I feel horrible that one, I wasn't attractive to anybody in the beginning, and then two, it's most likely my gaslighting and manipulating that finally got them to like me. Go.
Are you saying you're using dark psychology on women?
I'm only half joking, but it's been a weird trend in my life.
Maybe the future Mrs. Louise just want to fix something, and
good because Mr. Louis don't fix shit. He owns a home improvement company.
Bruce, we don't fix hearts, okay? That's we'll discuss that over a
Ryan, do you think I should date Jessica Alba? I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I just have to get her to spend 3 to 6 months with me in a very private environment, and we're there.
Hey, Jason, can you just be real quick? I gotta take my 4th shower of the day. Can you just I can't wait for you to tell Jessica Alba that's gonna be the best. So we are doing the another initial fantasy football thing, everyone. It's time for the FFPC playoff challenge, which is the fantasy football playoff challenge. With playoff challenge at the end of that. Nice job, Lou. So this is going to be a thing where there's 4 teams you each are picking. 2 you're picking yourself. The other 2 are basically auto draft. And all rosters are going to be locked in on January 11th at 4:30. Each team will choose 12 players from any of the 14 NFL playoff teams, with only 1 player per team. So, for example, if you choose Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, you can't choose any other Kansas City Chiefs on your team. Sounds great, right?
Yeah,
a lot of points, 4 points for passing touchdowns, 6 points for non-passing touchdowns. There's great scoring equation going on here, but very excited for this one. You two are going to draft your teams.
We're going to start off by talking here a little bit about, I know we were talking a little briefly. The most important thing about this is trying to figure out your playoff tree, right? Like who's going to play the most games, how you see who's going to, play that out. And obviously who you think is going to win the Super Bowl becomes big. Last year, I think the top 50 teams, I think there was 48 Josh Allen teams. He didn't make the Super Bowl, but he was obviously like the nuts at QB. So it's really trying to figure out the 2 teams to fully fade on these, and then there's going to be like 2 semi-fades where you pick teams that you think are going to lose in your kicker and defense position. I'll pull up the thing here. But then, Bri, hold on. So this is what we're looking at here. We're going to be filling 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 4 flexes, tight end, kicker, and defense. Out of the 14 teams, we're going to fill these with 12, right? Fade 2 teams totally, and you can only pick 1 player on each team once. So it's really, really crazy strategy. I know a lot of people that are listening or watching are very familiar with it. It is, I think, the best fantasy football challenge out there. I mean, including regular season. I just think this is such a fun, unique way of looking at things. But where we have to start is what we think is going to happen here in the playoffs. So I don't even know kind of where we left off as far as the differences. I know one big difference we had, let's just start there, was we had a difference in the first round. Is I think the Rams are going to win that game, and you're kind of still on the Vikings. You give me your thoughts on that, and then I'll kind of give you mine.
Okay, so this is more my opinion on the Rams-Vikings game is more on what I believe about Minnesota than what I think about LA. I do think the Rams are a pretty good team. I think they're dangerous offensively. I think they've shown better on defense in recent weeks, and they're kind of, they're hot right now. But at the same time, I look at what Minnesota did throughout the course of the season, finishing 14-3, ending up as a 5 seed just because of how dominant. I mean, what a tough year to be in a conference like the NFC North. I mean, you have 3 teams that could realistically reach or win the Super Bowl with Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. But here's how I think recency bias is playing too much into the factor of why everyone is now jumping ship with Minnesota. I still think they're going to reach the conference championship game and play Detroit. Now you'd ask, well, how could that happen? Well, the only way that can happen is if Green Bay also beats Philly, because Green Bay would then play Detroit in the second round, the conference championship. Or excuse me, the divisional round, and then would allow Minnesota to play Detroit in the conference championship. I just still buy it. I think they're gonna turn it around on offense. There were guys open in that game. Darnold missed them. I think he's gonna bounce back and at least put together two solid games in the playoffs.
You know how I look at these games all the time, and it's from a bettor's perspective. I mean, 1 point spread, I was thinking that would easily be probably a 3.5 point spread. The fact that it's only a 1 point spread, it is, obviously on the road. You guys, that I'm a Darnold guy. Obviously, I've been speaking well about him the whole year, but I just think that this is, if this all lines, 65% of the public are betting on Minnesota. The line isn't moving at all. That always is like a trigger. If I was still a betting man as far as betting on games, I think this would be a pretty big wager for me on the Rams. So I feel pretty strong about it. This won't be my only playoff challenge. And, a 1 point spread should still be a 50-50 game. We can kind of put that on the back burner for right now, that game, and maybe use it as a light fade and then a position player or something like that. But we could always talk about that later.
It's interesting to think about how to approach these teams, because you can do it a couple of different ways. You can try and figure out, as a lot of people do, try and figure out the chalk, what the public is going to do with most of these positions, and build from there, whether you want to take that chalk or pivot. And then, or the other way you could do it is try and figure out which of the teams you want to either hard fade or soft fade in the kicker and defense positions, and work, reverse engineer it. I kind of like working from the bottom up, because I think, in my opinion, we have at least 4 teams that we are both predicting are out in the first round. So I think we start there and try to build out our bottom of our lineup first.
All right, so let's do that. Let's pick our 4 fades, which would be what's our definite? Denver's definitely going to
in order of, I think, most confident in losing, or I guess least confident in winning, it would be Broncos, Steelers. I have it then as the Eagles as the next least likely to win. I just think they're going to lose to Green Bay, and then Texans. But Steelers and Broncos to me are the obvious choices for the hard fades. I don't know if we want to get unique. That's the only reason we would potentially want to bring in like Boswell as a kicker. I think that's a decent choice, but it doesn't feel good picking players from either of those teams, which is why I've kind of wanted to avoid them.
So you're trying to avoid making a decision on the Tampa Bay Washington game, and then what's the other one you're trying to avoid to make a decision on the Rams Minnesota? Is that kind of what you're saying there?
I guess by saying that, yeah. And then I'm also then kind of hedging even with the Texans and the Chargers, because that game is about a coin flip too.
I do like the Chargers a lot.
Me too. We both do.
Yeah, so I'm good with I think I'm good with full fading Pittsburgh. It's going to be a low scoring game. Baltimore, we both feel comfortable Baltimore is winning that game. The only let's say who makes sense, right? Like the only guy that really makes sense is Pickens. You're never going to get on board with Najee for me. So then we're talking defense or kicker. I don't love kickers in the like in that game so much. I guess Boswell could be something. I'm kind of on board with full fading them. I kind of don't want to full fade Denver. They make too many big plays. And not only like I don't even know if I want like I almost want to put Denver like one of their guys in the flex.
The only one that would possibly would be Sutton though. That's it. You know, you're the only. I mean, it's going to be low owned because they're going to be very few. The majority of teams are going to full fade the Broncos.
Yeah.
So it is some variance, right? We would have some variance if we have Sutton in that game and he goes off, or Mims. I mean, that's even crazier. But I think those flex positions are so valuable. And like, I mean, what are the odds truly that the Broncos win that game? Like 30%, maybe 20 to 30% of the time they win that game, maybe. So and I get the thought of wanting to have a unique lineup, but I just think when we're starting this way, I think we should try to focus on really what are the teams we like. Do we expect? I mean, the Steelers or the Broncos. I think those are the two most likely teams to lose this weekend. Can
I just bring up one aspect real quick? You can tell me to shut up, and then we'll really dig in here.
Yep.
I'm going to do this on one of mine. So, and I haven't filled out any interest in full fading KC.
I was wondering if you were going to ask me that. I
just think there's such a good chance that they lose that first game. They don't have they spread out the ball. Mahomes is never a hit. Like, it could legit, if they lose that first game, that could be such a that you could go as much chalk as you want the rest of your way.
Yeah, well, you're right that if that happens, and I think one other thing would have to happen, I think. Well, I would say Josh would also that Buffalo would have to reach the Super Bowl, but that's not even necessarily true because the winning lineup last year had Buffalo as had Josh as the starting quarterback.
The top 100 lineups all had.
Yeah.
You know?
So because you have to remember too, it's like, spike weeks, cumulative scoring. It's so
Allie, calm down over there. Okay. See you getting all excited. And just if you gotta just go in the backstage and do what you gotta do for a couple minutes, we understand. I know it's getting hot and heavy over here.
I can't wait for you to. Well, I can't.
Are you following us at all, or have any questions?
Yeah, you just said
we are talking in circles.
You're like, yeah, Casey's not going to get out of their first game played. Yeah, that's totally following you guys.
That's fine. That's it. That's all you need. That's the point I was trying to get across. Right. So that's it.
So I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with the idea. I don't know how bold I want to be with this, but
all right,
if you want to just
let's hit a button. Let's hit a button. Are we? Right. Is there a way that we don't get Josh in as our quarterback? Did you see any other way?
100% we're going Josh Allen at quarterback. I'm not
okay. Let's hit a button.
To do a team unless he's a QB.
I just can't see a team that. I mean, we both
easiest pick of all time. Lock it in.
All right. Yep. Josh Allen's locked in a QB. Let's go the other way here for a second. Okay. Just because we're having trouble with those last four. Maybe we start feeling comfortable about certain picks.
Sure.
Let's go both. Let's talk that Rams Minnesota game. I think we feel close enough about it that we get them both in our regular lineup. Let's make sure they're both in our regular lineup. Are we going to have an analytics or for the nerds team without having Puka in this lineup?
No, we are not.
Okay.
We are definitely going Puka, and I very much want to go JJ.
I'm not going to fight you at all on that. If I was to push you more into believing that it could be a one and out situation, I would fight you for Addison or Jones, but I'm not, JJ's fine here. And how much difference is that going to be? Cool.
I think honestly,
Allie, we're going to need you here for some tiebreakers when this gets tough and we're starting fighting. So
I think we're doing good so far.
Yeah,
I like the Justin Jefferson pick.
Yeah.
I just wish I could get you more on board of feeling they're going to lose as much as I do, because then I could easily switch that over to Addison. I think actually Jones probably makes more sense if you consider a win. So I think if I'm going to feel a loss, I think Jones is out for me.
Yeah, Jones actually kind of scares me altogether because, he's got, kind of a wear and tear thing coming up towards the end of the year now. And he's had a history of that. And Akers busted off that huge run against the Texans last week. And I know it's the final week of the season, but whoever's freshest legs with a running back, I'm kind of staying away. So, yeah, I think it's got to be Jefferson or Puka. The only other one I was thinking of, in addition, I guess, to Addison, was Hawkinson, because tight end is so thin. And if we are going to full fade KC, Kelsey's really the only good option or consistent option at the top. But yeah, I'm fine with what we have right now. Let's move on.
Okay. What's another sure winner that we're gonna have? Let's go Detroit, right? So we're gonna have them winning. If Detroit becomes Gibbs or St. Brown, you can get crazy with Laporta. Seems like Montgomery's going to be ready, dude. Like they're saying he's going to be ready. I wouldn't even be, but Gibbs is just going at such a good rate. And Montgomery at his age, coming back from an injury. I do know Dan Campbell's crazy and we'll start feeding him, but I think I'm St. Brown.
I am so heavily on Gibbs here. There's what he's doing right now is like, Alvin Kamara-esque. He's like, I think he's untapped like a new element to that offense. And to be honest with you, like St. Brown, I get it. He's very, very good, but Goff kind of gets the entire offense involved. And I'm not even that sure that Jameson Williams doesn't outscore Amon-Ra St. Brown. But what I am pretty confident in is that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to outscore them both. And I think this is one of those that if you don't, it's like, to me, it feels like if you don't have Gibbs, you're going to be dead in the water in this competition, even with the high exposure on the chalk. I think he's one of those like lock it in guys, but I get the points.
We're going to,
we can hold off on it too.
You're selling it so well.
We could hold off on it. My thing with it is a great point, and I'm feeling that way. My whole thing is we might have to hold off to see where we end up on running back. If we could end up on 2 happy running backs, then I can go there. Let's do this. Let's discuss like 2 more games are definitive. Maybe we can get into an argument on one of them to get Allie and make a tiebreaker, and then we'll put this aside till after the podcast, and we'll finish it off just so we don't give away all of our answers, obviously, on the podcast. But let's talk through a couple more points here. Let's see here. I want a Tampa Bay player in this lineup. Yes. And it's got to be Evans, right? Does it have to be Evans? I mean, in a one and done, it doesn't. I think that they're going to win. What was your thought?
I like Bucky a lot. I think that as the season went on, the fact that they just continued to give Bucky more and more opportunities is just going to continue to happen in the playoff. And if we buy what both of us think is that they're going to win at least 1 game, if not 2, right? I think they're getting to the conference championship, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then I expect him to be a huge part of that. Now, so could Evans. Evans is Mike Evans, another 1,000-yard, 11 in a row, 1,000-yard seasons. Thing with him, again, is somebody else in his offense that might take away some of the points. And McMillan, who has been really, really good as of late. Otten might be coming back, which I'm not scared of. But just from a target distribution standpoint, I think it might pull some away. And I think Bucky, with the way that he's played this year, he's just more exciting as a player right now. I just kind of want to go with the flash of him.
I'm going to say this and then let Ellie choose. I'm going to stick with Evans because I don't think we need flash right now. I do think Bucky might have a little bit more upside. I do agree that if they win more games, he might end up being the better play. And I do agree that Evans is the chalk, but at the end of the day, chalk won last year. Chalk was very, very big last year in the winter. And I think Evans is good chalk here. Like, I just can't see a scenario anywhere from 1 to 4 games that they play that Evans doesn't have more points at the end than Bucky. So I'm gonna push a little bit harder for Evans. Allie, that's on. We're gonna put this decision on you.
Fuck chalk.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna put in Bucky Irving.
But I will also say I'm
I'm
also an Amon Ra fan, so just a heads up if I'm a tiebreaker for the
oh, okay. I like that. That might be what if we do that right now? She makes those two decisions. Let's lock in. We locked in your running back. Let's lock in Amra. And then we'll talk more.
All right. Well, then, if that's the case, I would rather I would sacrifice Irving to get Gibbs, and you can take Amon-Ra.
Oh wow!
Then you could take Evans. I mean, so I don't know. It's we can talk about that. We might.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Let's not do anything crazy yet. But okay, so you see how fun that is. We'll finish that off once we get going. We'll share once the tournament locks. We'll share what our team looks like. And knowing us, we won't agree to it until a couple of minutes before it locks.
And also knowing us, it won't look anything like it just looks right now.
Yeah. You guys are like, you really try to mislead us. What shit? No, we didn't.
We just changed our mind.
All right, let me do this here. We're doing what's our draft today?
Our draft is the best tweets.
I did best celebrity tweets, but I mean, any way you went with this, I think most of the best tweets are celebrity tweets. But there's no rules on this podcast, and especially when Ryan's around. Ryan's gonna name 4 tweets in his first round that were by just him. And honestly, this whole thing should be named after Ryan Mira, this draft, because we should call it the Ryan Mira draft, because this motherfucker puts a meme out in the world and he gets 7 million retweets. I don't know how he does this shit, but mostly because that hair. I think it's the hair, don't you?
It's good hair. It's great hair.
What about mine? Mine's getting pretty great again.
It's great, but put the Bandits hat back on. You promised. There you go. Well, there you go.
You are. You know what? For someone who just didn't talk for 15 minutes while we were doing that, already you have 3 awesome clippable. I can't wait to clip this episode. You got some good clips. I've been writing them. I we were trained. I'm writing down the clip times, and I'm gonna go back and do that.
My energy is keto. All right.
Here's our draft order. Number 1's Ryan. Number 2 is me. Number 3 is Allie. Ryan, what is the best tweet?
All right, the best tweet, and it is somewhat breaking the rules because I am true to myself. I'm gonna just do whatever I want to do. But this one, it just couldn't not be the 101. It's a tweet that I think a lot of people who are chronically online, they think about a lot because it's one of those OG classics. It's the LA Chargers tweeting, "So hungry, need to find my wife and head to PF Chang's" on February 19th, 2007. Okay. That is one of the first tweets ever. And it was clearly some intern who was not understanding what he was doing or she was doing. And they just tweeted out that they wanted to take their wife to Chang's, PF Chang's. So it's just great. I love it. Come on. It's great. It's perfect. It's the LA Chargers tweeting about. Yeah.
I actually do not remember that. That's great. Fuck. I got a lot of good ones, but there was there's no one that belongs in the first round that I have. But the one that made me laugh the most, I'm sorry already in advance, Allie, but so was when Jake Paul got into it with that Gigi Haddad's okay, whatever, her husband or whatever, and he what is it, boyfriend? What's his name? Go on, help.
Which one is it? Is it Bradley Cooper?
No, the old dude. The old boyfriend was a rapper or something, or a fighter. I don't know. No, he worked at he was on a TV show or in One Direction. One Direction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Zayn.
Sorry. I really
How
ran
did we
the
get from a fighter to One Direction Zayn? A rapper?
I was so hoping that you didn't pick up on that because Ellie was just going, yeah. Like Ellie was just in the zone because we were talking about celebrities. So she like was just orgasming over there. And you were like, oh, I was so hoping nobody picked that up. I'm sorry. All right. So he shit him, and then she went back at Jake Paul and was like, oh, because he doesn't care to hang with you and your embarrassing crew of YouTube groupies. Home alone with his best friends like a respectful king because he has me, sweetie. Unbothered by your irrelevant, ugly ass. Go to bed. And then Jake Paul retweeted it and goes, "Your respectful king punched your mom in the face." And I'm sorry, but that's the funniest shit. I mean, I laughed so hard. I'm like, I laughed at it for 22 minutes earlier, and now I'm continuing. That is so good because it was right after that whole ordeal happened with the One Directions. So good. Sorry. Just a great comeback by, and I don't like the Pauls, but that's really good.
That is great. I do love a good shade. That is fantastic.
I don't condone punching people's moms, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Even though I laughed hard, but just
just for the other listeners, Gigi Hadid's mom is Yolanda Foster, who was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, so I'm gonna it's not since we did best tweet. I'm just gonna do my best tweet I've done so far this year. I don't tweet a lot because I just don't have the time, and then I don't think about it and whatever. But mine, and we should have talked about this and everything but nothing. But Skip Bayless, and I wrote hashtag things that make me dry.
Oh, I did. Did you write that after the whole thing came out? Is that what? I saw that it was like the same day, and I was like, it'd be really funny if that was just like accidental.
And then my number 2, because this is tough. I'm going to say this. If you've ever looked, and maybe there's one in this draft, but Rihanna tweets the most magical things. But I'm not picking Rihanna. I'm going to do another Allie Brady tweet. And I did another hashtag things that makes me dry. And it was Jim Rome's goatee. Things that make me dry. Yeah.
That's good.
I just want to bring up the Jim Rome. Come on.
Yeah. Does he still have it? Does he still have it? In the 90s, it was like 90s. And I don't like your take on facial hair, though.
I love facial hair.
Oh, okay. Because you shit on my mustache, too. Okay.
No, I just do that because I wanted to. I'm gaslighting you just to make you feel comfortable. I think mustaches are cool. On some people. And I think goatees are cool.
Very direct.
I just think some people take advantage of the goatee, and that person is Jim Rome. And I'm just gonna.
Fine. I'm gonna go with a person here, so I'll break the rules a little bit, but like someone who's just great at Twitter, who's also a celebrity though, because you guys really fucked up that part of it. But whatever. James Blunt is one of my favorites. He always goes back at people. He's always funny. Some dude tweeted at him, "Hey, can we all take a moment and remember just how terrible James Blunt was?" And he retweeted it and goes, "No need. I have a new album coming soon." Just like so good. And then he had another one. He goes, "If you thought 2016 was bad, I'm releasing an album in 2017." Just like so great. Shits on himself. Always kills it. Really, really funny. He had another good one while I was searching earlier.
That was one of my drafts. You just said 2 of them. So which one are you picking?
Oh, what do you mean?
I had a James Blunt. I had the 2017 tweet. I was going to.
Oh, okay. So then no, I won't say another one. I won't say another one. There you go. Yeah, he's really good. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
That's the You're Beautiful guy, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. It's a great song. Okay. My next pick.
300 more followers. Wow.
My next pick is, again, I think for only the chronically online. It goes back to October 15 of 2014, and it is by the wonderful Adrian Grenier. Okay, who you might say, who the fuck is Adrian Grenier? Well, he was in Entourage, he was Vinny Chase. Okay, obviously he's Vinny Chase. So he tweeted out a picture of himself, a selfie with like the background of some beautiful island, and he just goes, "Haven't been posting because I've been too present, distracted by the moment. Sorry, but thank you." It's just such great, like he's just trying to be so like, look at this picture of this guy. I mean, absolutely perfect. One of my favorite tweets. I sometimes think about that whenever I am being very present. This is what I'm thinking to myself. I'm just taking a selfie. Okay, my next pick is in a completely different direction. As beautiful as that tweet was, this one's a little raunchy, but it's great nonetheless. I felt like on my team, I needed to have Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant is also one of like the OG, like really funny tweeters because he was young and I think in like college back in like the 2010 2013 range, and like there's a lot of funny old tweets from back then. And he just tweeted out January 16th of 2011, Scarlett Johansson, and he spells it Johannesson. I will drink your bathwater. #random.
Can I just add one to the Durant thing without using one of my picks? But because he was on my board too. And now I won't use him, but he had one where he goes, "I'm watching the History Channel in the club, and I'm wondering, how do these people know what's going on the sun? Ain't nobody ever been." Fucking dude is the
He's
best.
great.
And I'm sorry that I did that voice while reading it, but that was also so great. And how many times have I been, I'm not joking, like at a bar that drunk, looking at whatever infomercial was on at that time and being like, you know what, man, I don't even get that's so great. I love Kevin Durant of the people. All right. I'll go quick here. My next pick is more of a story that was tweeted by Seth Rogen, which is just one of my funniest stories. I'm a big Paul Rudd guy. All right, so once I was in the spa in a hotel in Vegas getting a massage. When I finished, I turned over. To my shock, Paul Rudd was massaging me. He saw me go in and convinced the masseuse to let him take over, thinking I'd notice immediately. I didn't. Paul did the entire massage. That I just hope to God that story is true and how amazing that is. And it's like I don't know. I love those. I'm a very big Seth Rogen and Judd person. So that was mine.
I love it.
Allie.
All right, I'm going to go to a queen herself, Monica Lewinsky, and
so good.
Uberfax tweeted on May 21st, 2021. What's the most high risk, low reward thing you've ever done? And Monica Lewinsky just retweeted with the side eye emoji, which is so brilliant. She's another really great follow. She's very funny, very smart. And then, I shouldn't have done the Jim Rome one. That was a careless draft pick, because I'm stuck between these two. Okay. I'll do Russell Crowe. His tweet of and no punctuation. I love maps.
Okay. I remember that. Just everybody's like, "What, dude?"
Yeah, it was 2013. So we were just telling people what we liked, just to generate AI. But yeah, Louis.
Okay. I was gonna go with Lewinsky too.
You can take the Great Britney Spears one.
Another one. No, you know which one I think I will take or go with here is okay, Mindy Kaling from The Office says featuring Sean Paul are my 3 favorite words in the English language. And I feel that in my bones. Like anytime that like any song Sean Paul is like, I'm like, all right, let's roll. That's a good one. Ryan, how you finishing it up?
All right, so I'm going to finish up with what they like to call in the biz a little callback here. So Louis earlier today talking about how much he enjoys drinking his diet beverages, and whether you love him or hate him, you have to admit this guy is a phenomenal poster Donald Trump have to have his tweet of "I've never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke." So there it is. My walk away tweet of the celebrity tweet draft is that one. There's a lot that you could potentially pick from, just stream of consciousness ones, or fuckface on clown stick. And it's amazing. He's got a really good catalog of tweets. But
the best ones I think of all time are like him in like 2010, like him like years before he became relevant again. Like he has like 30 tweets like telling Kristen Stewart to leave Robert Pattinson.
No.
That was the other one I was going to pick. That was the old. It was this. It says Robert Pattinson should not take back Kristen Stewart. She cheated on him like a dog. We'll do it again. Just watch. He can do much better.
But that was just not even like recently. Like when he was like, it was, dude, so insane. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a good time. And look at we're in under an hour.
We're doing it. The one that I wish I didn't pick the Jim Rome one was Britney Spears, which I don't want to make fun of her. That's why I didn't pick it. But it says, does anyone think global warming is a good thing? I love Lady Gaga. I think she's an interesting artist. I don't want to make fun of her though, but that is.
I know. It's just so random. There was one. Oh, the one of it is that I remember this one where Kim Kardashian got ruined because of how stupid she is, but it also taught me something. Is she like, thanks guys, I had no idea a pickle was really a cucumber. You totally confirmed it. I legit, until that blew up, never knew that a pickle was a cucumber. So maybe because I never was forced to eat my vegetables as a child, but that was also I felt very Kardashian like.
It's also a low carb meal, as Ryan explained to us earlier. Also, Kim Kardashian wrote, "What if we spelled people like this? People, so P-E-O-L-E." So that would be funny. I think that's also pretty.
These are people that are blinding our youth.
One last tweet that relates to Kim Kardashian is when Kanye, I picked this one. When Kanye tweeted out, "Let's break one last window before we get out of here. I caught this guy with Kim. Good night." He just tweeted a picture of Chris Paul. Remember that?
Dude,
so good.
So crazy. He had some really crazy ones too, like searching through today. Like Kanye's the best. What was the one Kanye had? He goes, this I read it earlier, so I'm gonna paraphrase it because I remember it's something like, "You ever wake up on an airplane and there's a water bottle next to you, and then you just gotta be responsible for that water bottle?" Like legit, I'm not like, I don't think I messed that up. I think I got the quote exactly, and it's just so great. I love Kanye and whatever he's got going on in that brain. I was going to mention, I just didn't think it was giraffe worthy, but locally, Buffalo, Jessie Pegula, tennis player now, years ago, the whole butt tweet. Remember when Twitter was just a thing and she tweeted out, "So no Richards?" ? She meant to text her dad. That was when, what was his name? Mike Richards? Was it Mike Richards? I think of Mike Richards.
Yeah.
I think so, right? The dude that, and he was a big free agent. Mike Richards, I think it was. Center, he played for the Flyers. I don't know. I want to say Mike Richards, but I know it was "So no Richards," and she meant to text her dad. She tweeted it, and so then everybody knew that he wasn't signing here, and it blew up. But that was like in Twitter's infancy too.
So good. So good. That's very fun. That was a fun draft. Again, I blew it. So congrats to Louie and Ryan. Everyone, please like and subscribe us. We have fun doing this. I know football is winding down, but we'll still talk sports. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have fun. 32 days until the Super Bowl. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening and watching. Analytics are for the